Welcome to Insight Builder channel, large language model automators, Python experts, and my dear friends. Connecting a WebSocket to the AI shop, introducing WebSockets and incorporating it in Django. So, what's WebSocket? WebSockets are real-time bidirectional TCP communication. So, what does that mean? So, basically, it means that it is like creating a phone call. So, we all have cell phones with us, and we always make calls to our friends and family, and we do that using a real-time bidirectional setup. Whenever we make a call, once it connects, then the receiver as well as the caller will be able to communicate at the same time. That's what WebSockets are, and this WebSocket is present inside the TCP layer, and we are able to communicate over the TCP layer continuously. So why are WebSockets? What are the challenges that the WebSockets solve? So they are real time, as we saw, as I explained earlier. It's efficient because you don't need to cut the calls, send the sessions like how you do over the REST requests. It is cross-platform, so you don't need to worry about JavaScript or Python, Java, whatever the platform is, even Mac, Windows. The WebSocket is on the TCP layer, that is the internet layers. So it's cross-platform, so you don't need to worry about the platform that you're on. It's scalable. You can actually scale it up to thousands of even millions of users using the servers. In fact, you'll be surprised at the applications in a couple of minutes. It's secure. You can make it really secure by using tokens, and you can have a very low latency because you have a pipe that is already installed, and it's working for you specifically, right? So these are the whys of WebSockets, the problems that the WebSockets solve. Okay, how WebSockets? So WebSockets are present ubiquitously in all the programming languages like Python and JavaScript. In case of Python, you have to install the WebSocket module. In case of JavaScript, they have inbuilt WebSocket object. So we'll be working with them in detail in the future videos. Now, where WebSockets? So WebSockets are used in a lot of places. So it's used in chat apps. It's used in WhatsApp web. Yeah, the WhatsApp web uses WebSockets. Your web browser connects to the WhatsApp server based on the phone number that you have, and the token is issued according to that. So this is a WebSocket communication, financial trading, IoT apps. We'll be looking at some of the examples in a couple of minutes. The real-time dashboards. So this will be really fun. I have a real-time dashboard. You can see that. Collaborative drawing, where you see like this Excalidraw is a collaborative drawing environment. The same way you have VS Code where you collaboratively code. So all these kinds of collaborative setups are done through WebSockets, because all these collaborative setups will require you to have a real-time connection, back and forth, bidirectional connections, and online gaming. So the online gaming, like whether you're doing gaming on your smartphone, or whether you're doing it on your laptop or on your server, all these things are connected backend through WebSockets. Fine. Important point is that how AI can be incorporated using the WebSockets. Think about it. AI has a huge potential to be at the backend in the WebSocket server. That's what we are going to see. I'll be showing you a demo in next couple of minutes, and you will see how this works. And AI and voice enabled bots require this kinds of bidirectional communication continuously. Think about the robots that is launched by OpenAI or Nvidia, or any of the companies that is coming into the market. So they have a talking head. In fact, instead of having a microphone, the head has a face, and it is talking with you over by processing the request that you are sending it to it. So these things we will be trying to incorporate, but before that, let us try to jump into some kind of examples. So I will be discussing about the technology, how the tech is getting installed, tech is getting implemented, etc. in the next video, depending on the time that is available. So let's now jump into the demo. Let's go to the browser, and here we have the AI shop. So in the last discussion, we were discussing about the names in the database. We have the purchase lists in the database, and we have lots of questions present in the database also. So in the regular AI shop that we discussed, if I click on the show questions, what will happen is the backend the backend will kick in and it will start streaming the outputs. So let us stream replies, and once I click on stream replies, it starts streaming the output like this. The same kind of streaming replies I can get it through socket output also, but we are going to do it right now and show it to you. So let us click on home again, and now I'm going to start the WebSocket server before I click on the socket output. So let me actually open the inspect so that you guys can see what's happening. So in case of the console, you will see that at the top here, the WebSocket connection is failed here because the WebSocket server is not running. So that's why the connection is failed. So let us actually rerun this, and let me start the server. So here is the place where I'm going to start the server. I have already tested it, as you can see the updates above. In order to start the server, I'll be using something called as watch me do. It's one of the, just a minute. It's one of the modules that is that allows the WebSocket server to be auto restarted. Let me execute this. The name of the socket server code is WebSocket server underscore DB, because this is actually having a database connected to the backend. So all these things we will be looking at in the later phase. So let's go back to the demo, and now if I click on this, you will still see that it's not able to connect because I have to reload. So once I reload, you will see that I no longer get the error, but if I click on socket output, you will see it starts giving me the output, but it's only giving one output. And now it's actually updating the replies one by one, and it is doing in a streaming fashion. As you can see, as I'm talking to you, the streaming is happening in the backend, and this is happening. And if you go to the server, you can see that the streaming is also going on here. This is one of the interesting ways of working with the WebSocket. And this entire data that you're seeing here, it's actually getting pulled from the database that you saw here. So when I clicked on show questions, you saw this data, right? The same has been repurposed, and it has been connected to the WebSocket, and from there we are actually getting it. So once I click on the questions, you will see all these questions are present. At the bottom there is a socket output. So if I click on socket output again, you'll see that it is actually updating. Now this is one of the interesting ways of incorporating the WebSockets. But think about it, once these things are populated here, you can actually get a text to speech model to read all this text and update it to the user. So that is one of the interesting ways of connecting the AI output to the real world, meaning those who are asking. And the same way, if you scroll up and if you're going to go to the inputs that you're going to ask, like the LLM query, so here we can actually incorporate speech to text. Here it is text to speech. Now we are talking about speech to text, that the user is asking something in using his voice, and that gets converted to text, and that gets executed by the OpenAI model, and it gets updated here. So all these things can be done in the future. So these things I will be trying to update in the coming videos. What you're seeing here is a very basic chart of temperatures and humidity. However, it's stable and it is not moving or doing anything. Great, correct? Now we are going to start the server called as IoT device server. So this device server is creating simulated temperatures and humidity data, and we are going to right now refresh this page, and you will see that the graph is updating. The dashboards are alive, and this is how the data that is getting pushed from the server, from this server, is getting updated here, and you can see that it is doing in real time. So this is one of the important ways where you can use the WebSockets, and the same thing can be incorporated into this also. Nothing is stopping us from incorporating the chart data that you're seeing here into this kinds of interfaces, which is having Django backend or whatever operating whatever framework that you're using for populating these HTML, you can still incorporate these things. So this is one of the ways you can incorporate IoT apps as well as the real-time data onto the front end. So all these things are pretty complex, but is there anything that is really simple that you can try to see how these things work? So let me show you something that is very basic. Here we have a very simple looking HTML page, right? And I have already started the server here. And what I'm going to do right now is that if I click, then you'll see, okay, I have to refresh this. And the moment I refresh, you will see that I have two numbers of users. And if you go and select the inspect, you will see that this is actually getting updated in a moment. So if I click by giving a data, so hi there. So if I use this particular text and if I click, you will see that the payload hi there gets updated here. And you can see that I'm receiving a message that is actually sent back by the server. You can revisit here and you can see that the server here is working. So that's one of the simplest thing that you can do with WebSocket, right? But the most magical stuff is you can actually do that the same thing without actually giving any message at all. So right now I have started a server no trigger here. And if I go back and if I refresh this page, the same page, and you'll see that there is a message that is getting updated automatically. And once this page, the JavaScript running this page, that is the HTML page, gets connected to this server, which is running here. So you can see that this server is pushing the messages to the front end, and the front end is continuously updating. So now I must tell you that you guys have got a fair understanding. Let me stop the server because it's not going to do any work. So let me go back to the presentation right now. Currently, you guys have seen three different ways that you can work with WebSockets, from the basics to the advanced. So we have seen real-time dashboards. We saw how you can enable AI along with the WebSockets. We actually also saw how you can incorporate chat apps. The last demo that I showed you is kind of a chat app. It's not perfect. There were not a lot of users, but you understood that I can give an information to the front end that it can get processed by the back end. So it's kind of a starting point for a chat app. So all these things can be incorporated and done with WebSockets. So I would like to leave this video right now and keep the video short. And in the next video, I would like to discuss in detail how the WebSockets work. And with the code examples, I will walk through the code examples. And I will also be discussing how to incorporate the WebSockets into the Django server. So all these things will, have a considerable amount of content. So I'll be, segregating, cutting down on the video size and making it into multiple parts. So I believe that you like this video. Do leave a like, subscribe to my channel for further updates on similar kind of videos, and stay tuned. Till the next time, practice, explore. See you guys. Have a great time.